Ever wondered how Dom Pérignon goes from grapevine to your glass, maintaining its position as the pinnacle of luxury? Keep watching because we're about to dive deep into the fascinating, labor-intensive journey that brings this iconic champagne to life. The journey to creating a bottle of Dom Pérignon starts in the lush vineyards of the Champagne region in France. Here, only the finest Chardonnay and Pinot Noir grapes are selected. And when I say selected, I mean hand-picked with the kind of care you'd reserve for choosing the last slice of pizza at a party. These grapes aren't your typical supermarket variety. They are grown under rigorous conditions to ensure they have the perfect acidity and flavor profile that Dom Pérignon demands. But here's the kicker. Did you know that each vintage of Dom Pérignon is made exclusively from the grapes harvested in a single year? Yup, no mixing of different years' harvests, which means every vintage is a unique snapshot of that year's climate, soil, and care. So, what happens if the year's harvest isn't up to Dom's legendary standards? Spoiler alert, no Dom Pérignon is made that year. Talk about setting high standards. But wait, it gets more interesting. Imagine being a vineyard worker who has to make the cut, literally, when deciding which grapes make it into this iconic champagne. So, how do they ensure every grape picked is worth its weight in bubbly gold? Well, it's a combination of traditional practices and modern innovation. Curious to know how? Let's dive into the next step. Once the cream of the crop grapes are picked, they're immediately pressed to extract the juice. But here's where it gets fun. Only the first pressing, known as cuvée, is used to make Dom Pérignon. Think of it as the VIP juice. No second pressings, no leftovers. The extracted juice then goes through the first fermentation, where it turns into wine. You might be thinking, wait, isn't champagne already wine? Well, technically, yes. Champagne starts as a still wine before it gets its bubbles. The winemakers, or as I like to call them, wine whisperers, are constantly checking the temperature and sugar levels, ensuring that the wine develops the exact flavor profile they're looking for. So, if one tank starts to misbehave, they jump in to tweak it, ensuring that the future Dom Pérignon retains its iconic taste. But wait, how do they get those famous bubbles? And what makes them different from any other sparkling wine? You guessed it. We're getting to the real action in the next section. Now, this is where the magic happens. The still wine from the first fermentation is bottled, but not before adding a mixture of sugar and yeast. This is called the liqueur de tirage, and it's the key ingredient that kicks off the second fermentation right inside the bottle. Ever wonder why champagne bottles are so thick and heavy? It's because this second fermentation creates pressure equivalent to a truck tire, around 6 atmospheres. So, the next time you pop a bottle of Dom Pérignon, remember that you're holding a mini pressure bomb of flavor in your hands. But here's a question. Why does Dom Pérignon taste so different from other champagnes? The answer lies in the time spent aging on lees, essentially dead yeast cells. This aging process can last anywhere from 7 to 10 years, sometimes even longer. Imagine having the patience to wait a decade for that perfect sip. But if it's good enough for Lady Gaga to collaborate with Dom Pérignon for her The Queendom campaign, it's certainly worth the wait, right? As the yeast does its job, the bottles are stored horizontally and slowly rotated over time, a process called riddling. And if you're thinking, isn't there an easier way to do this in the 21st century? Well, traditionalists would argue otherwise. Some things, like a good plot twist or a Kanye West Twitter rant, just can't be rushed. Once the aging process is complete, it's time for disgorgement, where the yeast sediment is removed. Picture this. The bottlenecks are dipped in a freezing brine solution, creating a small ice plug containing the sediment. The bottle is then quickly turned upright, and the pressure built up inside shoots the ice plug right out, like a champagne cannon. How's that for a dramatic exit? But here's a burning question. What happens to all that lost champagne when the plug is expelled? Don't worry. It's topped up with a dosage of liqueur d'expedition, a secret blend of wine and sugar that fine-tunes the champagne's final flavor. This little addition is what gives Dom Pérignon its signature touch, like the perfect line in a Tarantino movie, or the final piece in a jigsaw puzzle.
You know something, you rich? I think this just might be my masterpiece.
In 2023, the luxury wine and spirits sector of LVMH, which includes Dom Pérignon, reported a growth of 10% in revenue, reaching over 7 billion euros. The demand for Dom Pérignon has been particularly strong in major cities like London, Paris, Tokyo, and Shanghai, where the brand is synonymous with high-end celebrations and status. And it's not just the established markets. Emerging markets in Latin America and Africa are also showing significant potential for growth as the middle and upper classes expand and seek premium experiences. Looking ahead, experts project that the global champagne market will grow by 4.8% annually, reaching $8.4 billion by 2028. Dom Pérignon, as a leading name in the industry, is poised to capture a considerable portion of this growth, reinforcing its position as not just a luxury drink, but a cultural icon of celebration and refinement. With this anticipated growth, Dom Pérignon will continue to strengthen its brand value, affirming why it remains the champagne of choice for the world's most memorable moments. So, as Dom Pérignon continues to expand its global footprint, what's next for this iconic brand? How will it innovate to cater to the next generation of luxury connoisseurs while preserving its centuries-old legacy? Stay tuned as we uncork more secrets from the world of luxury production. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Cheers to the journey, and remember, life is too short for anything but the best.